good afternoon, and everything in between. This is the Thrifty Pilot, and we're going to do another video. I know I've been on a little bit of a hiatus, but we have a baby. Woo! Little co-pilot. So that's kind of why I've been offline for a little bit, but now things are starting to slow down so I can start picking up on these videos. So today, just kind of well, I think all of my videos are like this. A nonchalant look into kind of previous experiences and trying to save money with, in this case, bags that we use for aviation. So this is my trusty couch there in my extra room, and these are all the bags that I have purchased for aviation. So what I'll do is kind of go through each one pretty quickly, just to give you a brief overview of what to look for and what to avoid while looking for a bag for aviation, and then my recommendations, and you can kind of take it from there. So let's get this thing cracking, and hopefully we'll both learn something from it. So way back in the day when I was a lonely, dirt poor student pilot trying to find my way in aviation, I had to have a place to store all of my stuff. Kind of like it is now, actually. And what I did was I looked around the house to figure out something that we had that I could put all of this stuff in, and I wouldn't have to spend any money on. So I actually found an old camcorder bag, this guy right here. And the cool thing about this bag is it actually works very well. This camcorder bag was a VHSC, for those who remember, camcorder bag. And it has all the pockets for all the stuff that you would need for a camcorder, but it doubles very well as a bag for aviation. These pockets are large enough where you can put a headset in, without a case, of course, but the headset that I used was a $100 headset at the time. I didn't worry about too much, and oddly enough, if you've seen my other videos on headsets, they're pretty reliable and pretty trusty, so they worked well in this. The padding's very nice. It's got front pockets, so you can put all of your pens, pencils, stuff that you would want to get to in a hurry. It's got the mesh up here, a lot of room for just general junk inside. The pocket on the other side, if you would want to put another headset or flight computer or radio in there, and then the dual straps. And it was made out of this kind of fake leather, pleatherish stuff, but it actually worked really well. It was surprising, and it's interesting because if you go on the popular aviation sites, you'll see a lot of bags actually like this for $100+ and you might get lucky and see some maybe around $80 or $90, but this old bag, if you've got a Goodwill around or someplace that sells secondhand items, it's worth it if you're just wanting a good bag to knock around. Because in the plane, you know, you're throwing these things everywhere. They get tossed and they're on the floors of FBOs and out of the plane, in the plane, you name it, right? So if you want a bag that you're not going to spend hardly anything on, look around the house. A lot of you might have one of these. Ask your parents, they might have one of these in the attic or somewhere in the basement. It's actually a really good bag. I double thumbs up on this one. You know, honestly, I kind of contemplate actually even going back to this bag. I know that the more seasoned pilots out there, you know, might gawk at this and, you know, might say, oh my gosh, I can't believe that I would carry something like this into a signature or something to that effect. But I tell you what, this looks a lot like those higher priced bags, and this cost me nothing. So pretty neat bag right off the bat. You're going to want to look for something that's got a place for your headset, especially if you're a student, because you're going through different planes. You're not going to leave the headset in the plane. Places for pens, pencils, that type of jazz that's easily accessible, because a lot of times this is going to be sitting in the back seat or the front seat if you're doing the solos. And then, of course, a wide area for all of your other junk to go into. Good alternative to the previous bag there is a trusty backpack. Backpacks work really well. They're usually pretty well made, especially if you've got a medium to a higher end backpack. You've got multiple compartments, the straps to carry it around, usually ample space to put headsets in and all of your other junk. And they're kind of built for students anyway, and people that are carrying around like writing stuff, like pens, pencils, that type of stuff. This particular backpack you open up and they have all the little holes for that type of jazz. And then this one has a little place where I put my Stratix in there. Just all types of junk. So these type of backpacks, if you have laying around, again, will cost you absolutely nothing and are pretty good. The only thing that you have to worry about with this is because it doesn't have a separate pocket on the side. If you have a nice set or a nice headset, you probably don't want to put it inside this backpack. When I use this, I actually put it on the top, so the very top. That didn't end up being much of an issue because I, was moving that headset in and out. It's usually the first thing out and the last thing back in. So it worked pretty well, but just something to remember. But the backpack's pretty good idea if you're looking for a economical bag for aviation. Another type of bag that I used very briefly is a camera bag. Camera bags are pretty cool because they have the inside area here that you can compartmentalize all the different stuffs that you put in there. Literally, my camera's in there now. I used it for its actual purpose once I got a nicer camera, but this was, it's been around for a little bit. Used it for aviation for a short period of time, and the way that I did it was I just moved those little things around, and I could put my headset right in here. I could put all of my pens, pencils, and other junk right in there. My knee board right in there, and then you get an idea. This one's kind of cool because it's got that backpack style there, and it's got the side pockets as well. So not too bad for a kind of a stand-in aviation bag. A lot of you pilots out there, or people that are interested in becoming pilots, might have one of these guys laying around. This is a laptop bag, but if you notice, it's got quite a few compartments in it. This one's nice because it's got the hard back to it, and then it's also got a place where you can slip over a overnight bag or one of those little rolling bags. So when I went for overnights, I just slipped that in there if I had one of those little rolly bags, or if I even traveled. So this was a dual purpose bag for me when I used it. As you can see, it's got a ton of wear because I travel both for work and just for fun, flying around, of course. But these things are meant to be abused for business professionals, I guess you'd say. They last forever, and they have, like I said, these individual compartments on there. So you can put all of your stuff. This has a little spot where it can expand. I actually put my radio, the clip on the side here when I used it for aviation. All other times I put it in here so I wouldn't lose it, of course. But when I was flying, clipped it on the side. It's got the little shoulder thing there. And the cool thing about these bags is you can usually find them for like nothing secondhand. You can buy them new, which probably run somewhere around 70 to 100 bucks, like this one. But if you get them used, get them for absolutely free. So pretty cool alternative. All right, and lastly, this is the bag that I'm kind of doing or using now for both aviation and work. So my last bag, of course, was used for aviation and work, and this one's the same way. This is a flight outfitter's bag. This is an actual flight bag. I think it runs around $100 to $120, give or take. I'll put some links below if you guys want to check some of these things out. But this is actually made for aviation. So some of the interesting features it has because of that are the side pen pockets, or the side pockets that I put highlighters and pens. You can also put other things with clips, maybe a flashlight. If you really like to test your fuel on the go, you can put one of the fuel testers on the side. Basically anything that can fit that little diameter there. Like you said, or like I said rather, I put my highlighter in there, and then sometimes I put some pins in there. I'm still figuring out. Only had this bag for a few weeks now. It seems to be doing pretty well because of a few reasons. One of the reasons is it's got this handy little side pocket for my radio there. Like I said before, I would either clip it on the side or I'd put it inside the bag. Now I have an official holder for it. Look out. It's got a ton of compartments in it, which are actually kind of hard to see. There's a compartment here, which I like. They're kind of hidden. Compartment here, which I put some stuff in there. You got the two outer pockets there. When you go inside, you have a place for your laptop. It's big enough and wide enough for a headset, which is now in the plane. All of your charts and regular junk go into this area there. It's got another pocket inside, which is kind of cool because you can put a wallet, your passports, that type of jazz in there. So yeah, it's got a lot of cool little features that pilots, you know, would appreciate. Now, if you are a pilot and you want to go on the cheap, you don't need anything like this. I bought this because it was pretty cool. I just wanted to try a real legit flight bag for the first time in my life. It's okay. Honestly, the camcorder bag, it works just as well. It's got enough space. It's got all the pockets. If I ever quit my job and do this full time, I'd probably just do the camcorder bag from there on out. But like I said, this doubles as a flight bag and a work bag, so this is kind of where I'm going with it. So all of these are viable options. The biggest takeaways here are: don't spend a lot of money if you don't have a lot of money, and you don't want to spend a lot of money on a bag because you don't need to. There are a lot of alternatives out there that work just fine. Just use your head, figure out what you want to put in your bag, and then find something that'll be suitable. I would check your house first. You'd be surprised what you have laying around. I would check secondhand stores second, just to make sure they don't have anything. Heck, they may have one of these bags for $12. Who knows? They'll definitely have camcorder bags, probably with camcorders in them, or other suitable bags that would definitely meet your needs. And then lastly, if you feel like you're at a point where you know, have a few extra bucks and want to go crazy, get one of the official flight bags there. But if you're like me, the first bag that I showed you there is just fine. This one I just use for both work and aviation. So that's my spiel. Good luck out there. Stay safe and stay thrifty.